Well, behind me is Hadrian's Wall. We'll be talking about the Roman Empire today. And the Romans constructed this just the beginning of the second century AD. And what we're looking at are the surviving ruins of it as they appeared when I visited Hadrian's Wall about 10 years ago. But before we get started on that, today's presentation, I just want to have a brief personal word with you about the status of the course. Actually, as you know, I gave you 2 weeks to look at the combat as metaphor module without quizzes or anything else to sort of make you do it, as it were. And judging by the number of views on YouTube and some other indicators, it looks to me as if the overwhelming majority of you decided not to take advantage of that, which is a good lesson learned for me, because what it indicates is that in the absence of quizzes and assignments and so forth like that, students are just going to make a choice to emphasize other courses and not take advantage of education for the sake of education. And I'm not bothered by that. I can see how that would be that could easily be the reality of the case, but it's a lesson I'll take with me going forward. And besides that, I can take a lot of the material that I used in combat as metaphor and give it to you again down the line later in the course. And so one way or another, you're going to get tested on it. So you can be happy about that. With regard to the midterm examinations, for the most part, they went well, I think, for most students. But if you have a question about how you were graded, or how a specific ID or something was graded, or if you have basically a sense that you didn't get the grade that you deserve, follow the grade grievance procedure that's already, it's on Carmen in the administration section. And basically what that requires you to do is to go first to the person who graded your midterm and get with them, and they have the authority to revisit their grade. They can, if they think necessary, they can change it for you. If they think it's good the way that it is and you're not satisfied, then you can come to me, and I'll take a look at it and make a final decision about what the grade needs to be. And I encourage you to do this because it is, after all, your transcript, and you have a perfect right to go to your instructors and ask for these kinds of explanations and not feel in the least bit abashed or apologetic or anything along those kinds. And you don't need to feel kind of angry or belligerent about it either, because I think those kinds of emotions come into play when you essentially feel powerless. And what you need to understand, what will help you not feel powerless, is that the university will back you up on this. You can rely on it. If you feel you're not treated fairly with something, and the instructor or the instructor's representatives in the form of graders are non-responsive, that's a serious matter. And you can complain to the department chair and the history department chair, and he this year he will send it on to the grade grievance committee, and you have other avenues available to you as well. And believe me, mistakes do get made. The first time I graded many years ago, a young woman came into my office hours in tears because she had gotten like a D, and she on a I think it was some kind of assignment, and she felt like she didn't deserve anywhere near a D. And I took a look at it, and like with mounting horror, I realized that she was right. I mean, it was like a B, maybe a B plus, but probably a B at least, but certainly not a D. And so I regraded it. I gave her the B, and she went on and she felt better. And then I went to the instructor that I was working for, and I said, this happened, and how could I make that level of mistake? And she explained all the different reasons that kind of error can get made. And I've never forgotten that lesson. And that's why I urge you as students to take advantage of that grade grievance process. So I hope that you will. Now, this week, we're going to be dealing with war in medieval Europe, and we have quite a lot to get through. I'll be condensing lectures that I gave last year so that we can kind of compress things into 1 week. And it's going to take me a little bit of time to do that. If you're watching this presentation, on Friday or Saturday, you're going to see that I only have one presentation up so far. What I want to do is, rather than give you the ones that I put up last year, I want to have time to condense the ones that I've got in order to make them more manageable for handling during the single week we're going to spend on this module. So with those comments, let's move on to this week's presentation. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye again.